warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. Myself, Nabiha Nadeem. So, in this particular video, we are going to deal with another important topic, and that is plastids. Plastids, also known as the kitchen of a plant. Okay, so let's see why is it known as the kitchen of the plant cell. You might have heard the kitchen of a plant, which is the leaf, right? Now, today, we will be learning something very different, and that is the kitchen of the plant cell, and that is the plastid. So, let's learn about this. That why is it called so? Okay, so plastids are cell organelles found only in the plant cells. Okay, so this is an exceptional or exclusive case that the plastids are only found in the plant cells and not in the animal cells, because of course animals consume their food themselves, right? They need not to produce their food themselves, right? So hence therefore plastids are cell organelles found only in the plant cells. Now, depending on the color, there are three types of plastids: Chromoplast, Chloroplast, and Leukoplast. I know that in the picture you can see various types of plastids, but in this video we'll be dealing with only the three main types, which are the Chromoplast, Chloroplast, and the Leukoplast. Okay, beginning with the Chloroplast, whose diagram is also given here. So let's begin with this first. Okay, so chloroplast is derived from a Greek word chloros, which means green, and plasto means formed. Okay, so chloros means green and plastos means formed. Okay, so they are generally green plastids. They are green plastids, chloroplasts. Why are they green? They possess photosynthetic pigments called the chlorophyll and the carotenoids. Okay, so they are the green plastids, and the reason why they are green is the presence of chlorophyll, the photosynthetic pigment inside that. So they form bulk of green parts of the plant like leaves, young stems, etc. Okay, and as they are green, obviously they play the main role in making the food, right? Because they trap the solar energy and all, right? So they form bulk of green parts of plants like leaves, young stems, etc. They trap solar light energy and absorb carbon dioxide from for manufacturing food, through the process of photosynthesis. Now, chloroplast also contains other pigments like yellow, orange, all these pigments. They are part of, the chromoplast. Okay, so but these are masked to large quantity of chlorophyll. Now, see, in a leaf, you can also find various other pigments like the yellow, orange, red pigments and all, but they are masked by a large quantity of chlorophyll. Hence, their appearance seems to be green in color, right? Okay. Chloroplasts contain DNA, RNA, and the various enzymes essential for photosynthesis, because they are the ones which play the main role, and they are the reason why the plastids are known as the kitchen of the plants. Getting my point? Yup. Okay, now coming to the second type, that is the chromoplast. So now let's see what this is. So chromoplast is also derived from Greek words. Chroma means color and plasto means formed. Chroma means color and plasto means formed. So they contain fat soluble yellow, orange or red color pigments. Okay, so these are mostly present in petals and fruits, and because you can see that rather than the petals and the fruits, the entire plant is of green color, right? So in the petals and the fruits you find various different colors like red, yellow, green, and etc, etc. I'm sorry, not green, red, yellow, pink, and all these things. So that is due to the presence of chromoplast. Okay, so they contain fat soluble yellow, orange or red color pigments. So these are mostly present in petals and fruits. Okay, these provide color to the flowers and the fruits. Now these contain various kinds of coloring pigments, like for example the xanthophyll. Let me write it for you. Xanthophyll. Okay, so xanthophyll is the yellow colored pigment. Okay, xanthophyll is the yellow colored pigment. On the other hand, we have the carotene, Okay, so on the other hand, we have the carotene, which is the orange red pigment. Okay, so sometimes, sometimes you would have seen, blue, violet, and purple flowers also. This is due to the coloring pigments of these colors dissolved in the cell sap. These color pigments are dissolved in the cell saps, which gives the color to the plant part, mostly flowers. Okay, because you might have not seen the fruits to be violet or blue, right? Yeah, there are kind of, there are few, but mostly you might have seen these colors in the flowers, right? So such pigments are known as anthocyanins. Anthocyanins. So this is what it is like. Now coming to the last type, and that is the leukoplast. Okay, this one I'm talking about, the leukoplast. So the word leukoplast is also derived from a Greek word. Leukos means white and plasto means formed. So these are the colorless plastids most probably. They have no pigments and are named on the basis of the substances they store. Okay, so leukoplast, they are named on the. Remember, I told you about the blood cells. Okay, so in that I told you about the leukocytes, right? So leukocytes were the WBCs, right? The white blood cells, because leukos means white. So here leukoplast means, the white color plastid. So they are colorless. Most probably white is referring to them, but they are actually the colorless plastids. They have no pigment and are named on the basis of the substances they store. So they store starch. Cells of, like for example, the cells of potato have a ton of large number of leukoplast, and the cells of potato, they store large amount of starch and all, right? So they have a ton of large number of leukoplasts inside them. Okay, coming to the functions of these chloroplasts. Right now, I'm not going to talk about the structure of this, but let's first look at the functions of the chloroplast. So the green plastids called the chloroplast help in the photosynthesis and thus help in the synthesis of food. Okay, so these are called the kitchen rooms of the cell. The kitchen rooms of the cell. Wow, right, right. You got some very exciting terms like the kitchen room of the cell. You had the kitchen of the plant. Now you have the kitchen room of the cell. Wow, really wow. Now coming to the chromoplasts. So chromoplasts plasts are colored plastids which provide color to the flowers and the fruits. And I told you about Xanthophyll, carotene, and anthocyanins. Now coming to the last type, leukoplasts. So as I already told you, leuko means white. They are the colorless plastids, and leukoplasts help in the storage of food. Easy, right? Yup. If you look at the structure of this chloroplast now, so you can notice that this is kind of double membrane kind of structure. You have the outer membrane, you have the inner membrane. Inside to that, you can find these bundles kind of things, right? So each this plate kind of structure, each of them is known as a thicolloid, and the bundle of this is known as the granum, right? So bundle is known as the granum. Individual plates are known as the thicolloid. Okay, and this entire space is filled with a fluid matrix kind of, that is known as the stroma. Interesting, right? So this is what it is like. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If yes, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any problem or any query, then do mention it in the comments down below. I promise I'll answer them. And see you in the next video very, very soon, inshallah. Until then, Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.